first away game for the Bourne Braves ends in a victory as a score of 2-1 here in Orleans at Eldridge Park. Blaine McCormick, Kyle Kirchhoff, Justin Galanti here on Tomahawk Talk. We have another guy with us, Nick Johnson, a big bullpen pitcher for the Braves. Came in with the bases loaded and got out of a sticky situation. Nick, what were you thinking when you came into the game in that situation?
Don't throw balls. Come out of the bullpen throwing strikes, honestly. You know, bases loaded, nowhere to put a guy in that situation. Just let the defense work.
Is it hard in that spot to not think, get ahead of yourself and realize I have to get 3 outs and not let anybody advance? Is it hard not to try and get 3 outs in one? Basically?
It is. You're not really thinking about, me personally, I'm not thinking about trying not to let that runner advance. I'm just thinking the hitter. I don't got to worry about those runners. If the hit goes out, that guy's going to score anyway. So I'm just kind of thinking, fill up the zone, get him out.
Nick, when you come in a situation like this, is there a little bit of added pressure knowing that, okay, here's my first time out, oh, here's my situation, this is my first time on the Cape, I need to make a good impression? Is that pressure there in addition to the situation in and of itself?
I like pressure. I like to pitch under pressure. I feel like I actually excel under pressure. If I come out in a clean inning, for some reason I'll walk 2 and then I'll strike out 3. It's just, I like it.
I'd said that you excelled under pressure on Tomahawk Talk right now.
This is pretty good. A lot of pressure.
First guest of the year.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure. What did your teammates say when you ran back into the dugout? It seemed like they were really hyped to have you back in.
Yeah, everyone was happy to get that momentum back in the dugout. 1 run scores, the momentum change, we get dead, and they pick up the momentum, and who knows what could have happened after that.
Well, Nick, get some rest tonight on this late night here in Orleans. Thanks for coming on Tomahawk Talk.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, you saw Nick Johnson earlier. Now, Kyle, let's kind of talk about this bullpen that Bourne has. We haven't seen it too developed here in the past 2 games, but tonight they really came out. Ian Miller and Nick Johnson really came out firing. Even PJ Poulin, even though he walked a guy, he still looked good on the mound. What did you see from the bullpen tonight?
Well, this is big. Bullpen outings here at this part of the season are big. Like I asked Nick, he clearly wasn't fazed by the pressure of coming out, but anytime you make your first appearance out of the pen on the Cape, there's the I want to come out and make a good impression part of it. And for the Braves coming into this game, 8 2/3, only 3 earned runs, 13 strikeouts. I mean, the bullpen was incredibly effective up until tonight, and then tonight they continued to be effective. So if you have a bullpen like this, it really is nice on your starters to say, I can go out there and throw 4 or 5 innings, go as long as I can, and I know I can give my lead to somebody. I trust them. They can hold on to it for me.
And the offenses that Bourne has faced earlier in Chatham and Katuitt, they've really came out and fired off pitches from the Bourne pitchers. I got to ask you about Orleans' offense. What did you see from them, and what did you think that they had in the productive manner?
Well, basically, it seemed like the Firebirds left the entire city of Orleans on base tonight. I mean, the last 5 innings, they left multiple men on base, and I think all the credit really has to go to the Braves' bullpen. All the guys did a great job. Miller from Harvard came in, struck out a batter with a man on base to end an inning, worked a good frame of his own. Like you said, Poulin walked a batter, but then Nick Johnson picked him up. And then the last inning, Feltner was outstanding, got the strikeout. He's throwing really hard out there. He was blowing Firebirds hitters away. So it's hard to put your finger on what exactly Orleans was doing wrong tonight. I think all the credit really has to go to the Bourne bullpen. And then once again, the starter, Eli Krause, was great. Was throwing strikes. Early in the game, I think 11 of the first 12 batters he threw first pitch strikes to, so he was efficient, effective, and really doing a solid job.
And you can't win if you can't score runs, and Eli Krause on the mound as a starter for the Braves. Kyle, talk about Krause for a little bit. What did you see from him, and how did his tendencies really excel this Bourne offense?
Well, really solid outing, and like Justin said, anytime you throw, 12 first pitch strikes or 11 to the first 12, I mean, that's huge. And the first pitch strike, we've talked about it so many times on Tomahawk Talk, on the broadcast. It just really, it does a whole thing for you mentally as well as in the count. When you have got that first strike in there, it takes a little bit of the pressure off, and you can just fire and just do your thing. And it opens up all your breaking pitches. It does a whole ton of things. I could talk all day about it. But Eli Krause, an excellent start tonight. We've seen great starts from all these Braves pitchers so far. And I think they've set the bar high for the guys to start in the days to come.
Now, for our Player of the Game segment, we'll kind of keep with the theme of pitching. I think that Eli Krause really came out firing. He only allowed 1 run in the entire game, and that was the only run that the Firebirds were able to score. You mentioned all the strikeouts that he had. All of his locations were on point tonight. Eli Krause is my player of the game. What about you?
It has to be Nick Johnson. I mean, anytime you come into a game with no outs and the bases loaded in a 1-run game, you get out of it perfectly. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for. I think that sums it up. But really, you got to give a shout out to all the Braves pitchers tonight, leaving men on base, like you said, Justin. So many people left on base, so many batters for the Firebirds. So I'm going to give mine to Nick Johnson, but shout out to the rest of the Bourne Braves arms.
Yeah, I have to be with Kyle on this one. I mean, come in with bases loaded, nobody out. That's really tough to get out of, and Johnson did that. That takes nothing away from the job that Krause did, nothing away from the job that Miller did, and nothing away from the job that Feltner did. They were all outstanding. If I could give this award to the entire bullpen, I would.
We're very strict about it.
And then also throw in Zach Susi. I mean, his walk in the first inning ended up being the game-winning run. So the bullpen was great, and Bourne took advantage of one more opportunity than Orleans did.
Well, first road game in the books for the Bourne Braves. They go back home to face YD Yarmouth Dennis in a doubleheader tomorrow. Both of those games will be 7 innings, and you can catch these guys on the call tomorrow as well. For Justin Galanti and Kyle Kirchhoff, I'm Blaine McCormick. And we'd like to also thank Nick Johnson for coming on as our first on-air guest. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It's Tomahawk Talk.